Welcome to another episode of My First Job, the podcast. A career in the merchant navy is what we're going to be talking about today. We know the people who are at sea for 3 to 6 months and then they spend time on land, and we think it's a nice life. But we're not sure of what that life actually involves and what the job is like. So today we have with us Captain Rangarajan Gopalakrishnan. He told me very clearly that there are two parts to this. That is, there is a merchant navy, the tech department, and then there is another department, and he's promised to get me a guest from that as well. So, this is episode 94 of My First Job, the podcast that covers engaging career journeys. And every single one is full of twists, turns, and insights. I'm Venugopal Nair, the host of the podcast and CEO of Ideascape Communications, an advertising agency into branding, creative, and design. So, settle in, sit back, and enjoy the conversation. Captain Gopal Krishnan, welcome to the show.
Good morning, sir. It's very nice to be with you, and it will be my privilege to discuss or enlighten anybody who wants to join Merchant Navy in a very small way, in whatever way I can. I would like to do that so that if somebody can be helped out, it will be my pleasure.
Wonderful, because this is precisely the kind of thing that we are hoping that our young listeners or the people who are interested in a career in the merchant navy will get to know. So, tell us what were among the first. Why is it called the merchant navy, or is it you have the navy and you have the merchant navy?
Yes, sir. The stark difference between Indian Navy and or any navy of the world to the merchant navy is we don't do any fighting. We are
Okay.
not. We are sailors who take the cargoes from various parts of the world to various parts of the world, and
Okay.
the cargoes can be various types. It could be solid type, it could be liquid type like petrol, diesel, crude oil, that type. Nowadays we have the gas transportation in a very high range, liquid natural gas, LNG, LPG. This transportation is also happening. Then you must have seen many containers on the trucks in
Right.
the highways. So these containers are always carried by sea. Containers carry various cargoes. It could be shoes, it could be belts, it could be perfumes, it could be food products, it could be finished products, it could be raw products. Various products are put into the boxes, which is called the containers, and the containers are put on the ships, and the ships takes them from one place to another. So,
Okay.
within the merchant navy, we are globally accepted, and as somebody said, if we stop working, that the sailors stop working, half the world will freeze and half the world will go hungry.
which which is in essence true because it has become a global economy, and we are hardly aware of the amount of work that goes on into the background because we just see things appear on e-commerce sites or we see them in shops and we assume that there is some process happening in the back end through which all
Yes,
of this appears. So tell me, how did you get interested in the merchant navy? What was your route to joining it?
yes. To talk about myself, my father was a accounts officer in a shipping company. So
Okay.
he used to see a lot of sailors during his interaction with them, and he was always interested, or he always thought that if my son could be one of the officers wearing uniform coming into the office, it would be nice. So he
Okay.
had, but he was not aware of what goes on or what how to get in and all those things. So when I completed my 10 plus 2 with science, which is definitely required, I had joined the Loyola College here in Chennai for doing BSc Physics. At that is the time he introduced me to one of his senior colleagues, Captain Dara Bort. He's
Okay.
God bless his soul, he's no more now. But he was such a senior general manager in that shipping company those days, and he put aside all his work and he's sat me down for about 1 hour and he spoke to me, and he told me what will be the pros and cons of the job and how it works, uh, and all those things. All those things did not really interest me in the beginning, but he
Okay.
said one thing which really caught my attention as a 18-year-old. Within 3 years, you will be earning more, three times more than your father. That was the catchphrase. I would say that was the catchphrase which said, "Oh, tell me more. You know, please tell me more. And what should I do?"
Yeah.
And as an 18-year-old, you are looking at exploring new opportunities, exploring the world, and stepping out of your house. You've been well protected. I come from a normal middle class family in Chennai who's been around well protected till the age of 18, normal education, normal schooling. I was not a very bright student. I was an average student. I would never top. I've never topped my class, but I've never been in the bottom as well. So I would always be around the middle, just enough, good enough to go to the next class. And I had my own fun playing cricket, and I was interested in some sort of Carnatic music. So I was a mridangam player. I learned mridangam for about 10 years, and
Okay.
though of course now I have discontinued. It was many years ago, and then I started pursuing how to get into the merchant navy.
Okay.
This is how I started. But those days in 92, when I started as a trainee, it was more easier because the companies could do the selection based on their own selection criteria. They used to have interviews and entrance tests and other things, and they used to place trainees on board directly. This was happening in private companies, and it was happening in Shipping Corporation of India, which was the government company. All these companies were having this thing, and over the years, the things have changed. People have changed. Today, if a aspiring young Indian or 18-year-old wants to join merchant navy, he has to go through a comprehensive combined admission test. This test is conducted by the Indian Maritime University. Generally the tests are around the May, last week of May, first week of June, like how all the other competitive tests are held after 10 plus 2. You need a 10 plus 2 to enter into this
Qualification.
stream.
Okay.
And it should be with science. People with arts or accounts background cannot enter this
Okay.
field because
Okay.
the reason being the further studies which will comply with lot of scientific things and lot of mathematical calculations, and you need to understand physics to a certain level to understand the shipboard calculations and other things. So
Okay.
today the IMU is conducting these entrance tests. IMU is having three campuses of their own where they do the training, and there are about 6 or 7 private companies or institutes which are running this cadet training.
Okay.
These private institutes are mostly associated with the shipping company. The shipping company is running them so that they can get their future manpower trained, well trained right from the day one. So they are the ones which are running. Uh, 3, 4 of them are around the west coast, close to Mumbai. A couple of them are in Chennai. 1 or 2 is there in Delhi as well. Uh, Now, if you but for entering these private institutes as well, you need to get the entrance test passed
Okay.
based on the company's rankings or based on the company's placement scenario. The rank wise cadets are allocated to the private institutes.
Okay.
So the top company gets the top rank students, and likewise.
Okay.
Okay, so then they are trained. Of course, the cadets have to.
How
Uh,
long is the training?
there are 2 types of training there also. Here, there is a diploma training, which comprises of 1 year ashore before they go to the ship. There is a
Okay.
degree training, BSc Nautical Science, 3 years training, whereby the shipboard time gets reduced by 1.5 years. after the 3 years course. If you're a diploma graduate, you have to do about 27 months at sea, 1 year ashore, and 27 months
On
at
the
sea
ship.
on the ship. And it will not be 20. As soon as I say 27 months, people might say, oh, it is a long time. No, it is not on the one ship. It is definitely not on one ship. It is 27 months. To complete 27 months is calculated as sea time, the number of days
Okay.
you are at sea. To complete the 27 months sea time, the calendar time could be about 36 months, 38 months, because you will go to a ship, spend 5 6 months, come back, stay home for a couple of months, then go to the next ship, like on. So
Okay.
that's how you complete this thing. After doing all this thing, before you join the private institute, it's better to get yourself into a company whereby they authorize you to do the training. That means the company is promising you, once you spend and complete the training, they will give you placement. The
Okay.
government is quite strict nowadays. They want the cadets to have the authority letter from the company that they will be placed on board their vessels before they take up. Why? Because in the past, say between 2000 to 2010, lot of institutes have done a lot of training to many people, and many of these boys who got trained could not get placed because they were not being approached correctly, and then they started falling prey to various agents who were
Oh,
trying to make money and dupe them by promising
okay.
them good companies, but finally put them on very substandard ships, unsafe ships. And we have had stories in the industry whereby a lot of people quit, and a lot of people couldn't sustain, and a lot of people even died. So, which is a very
In
sad.
terms of gender, is this purely for
No, sir.
boys? There
No,
are
no,
no
no,
girls
no.
in it.
It used to be. It used to be called. It was male dominated. Those in the early days, but nowadays we have a lot of girls coming up. A lot of girls are opting for this kind of career, and I personally, during my last few sailings, I have interacted with quite a number of girls who are very happy, very interested to take out this thing. But ratio wise, it is still, I would say, 95 to 5% only.
Okay. Okay.
95% men are preferring over only 5%. It needs to change. It needs to change, and the government today is very proactive in this. And I would say, girls, please come out to see. It's fantastic place to work. The government is, in fact, sponsoring quite a bit of the fees rebate, and other things are being given to female candidates so that they can take up this career. It's a fantastic career. Like how you can have a pilot who can fly a plane, who can be a woman, and same wise, likewise, you can have a girl who can be captaining a vessel. And we have a lot of iconic women who came very early in their sailing careers. You might have seen, some people might have seen Captain Radhika Nair. She is our first female captain from Shipping Corporation of India. The last I saw, she was felicitated by Prime Minister Modi as well. So for being bold enough to break the ice and enter the domain, and reach up to the pinnacle.
Right. So, what was your first time on a ship like?
Yeah, first time on the ship was fun, uh, because you join a boat, join the ship. It could be any type of ship, as I told before. It could be. I joined a bulk carrier. Bulk carrier means a ship which used to carry cargoes in bulk, like coal, iron ore, wheat, barley, and urea and fertilizers and various things we used to carry on that type of ship. I joined a bulk carrier in the year 1992. My first ship was, I joined my first ship at Vizag, Vishakhapatnam. Uh, I myself and my colleague friend, we both joined as brand new cadets. Brand new. We were
Okay.
not. We don't know head or tail. We don't know right or left. We were put on a boat. The ship was in the outer anchorage. and we took a boat from the land to the ship, and it took about 45 minutes for us to reach. Uh, we were not aware what we are going to face. We were not aware whom we are going to meet. We
Right.
just climbed a rope ladder and went on board. The climbing the rope ladder was those days it was fun and thrill, and it was, of course, we don't realize as a young person, you don't realize the dangers. If you slip, you will
Right.
fall into the water or something. Those luckily nothing happened. I went on board my first ship. I walked with my suitcase and other things. Of course, the company had briefed us that we have to carry uniforms, we had to carry certain things, we had to carry our winter gear, because mainly when the vessel goes to very harsh winters,
Okay.
you need to carry those winter gears and other things. They were all provided by the company. Some sort of guidance was given to us, and we went on board the ship. On first day, generally the hierarchy, I'll just take 5 minutes, 2 minutes to explain the hierarchy on board. We have the captain, and then you have a couple of officers under him, the chief officer, second officer, and the third officer. Then comes the trainee or the deck cadet. And likewise, in the engine department, you have chief engineer, second engineer, third engineer, and then maybe a junior engineer. And coordinating between both the departments, there will be one electrical officer. So this is the setup of officers. Likewise, you will have crew members who will be doing all the other jobs, like helping the officers during the navigation watch, preparing the cargo holds, opening the cargo holds, and operating the cranes and the ropes and other things. So you have about 8 to 9 crew members. Plus, you will have one cook on board who cooks for everybody. And
Right.
maybe some ships we do have a messman who will assist the cook with cooking also, and he will help the keep the accommodation clean and hygienic with the cleaning around. And so this will be the general setup on any merchant vessel in any company
Okay.
with any
So
nationality.
typically, how many hours of work would you start off with?
Yeah, in the initial days, it used to be about 14 to 15 hours a day of strenuous physical work.
Okay.
Why this? I still remember my first captain, very senior captain, telling me, why we, please understand why we are putting you through this type of physical strenuous work is you have to understand the pain of the crew member, because they are doing this. Tomorrow, when you will be in a position to order this work, you should understand how difficult it is. So you have to have the human element. You cannot push somebody beyond a certain human capabilities or ability. So you have to understand that. So to
So could
understand,
you give me, sorry, could you give me some of the work that needed to
yeah,
be done?
yes, as a cadet, you will be asked to do chipping, and chipping is like de-rusting, because ship is made of steel. It will be rusting always. So if you de-rust and paint in the forward, the aft will be rusted. So you keep come from forward to aft. Aft is shining, forward is again rusted. So you, it's a continuous process of de-rusting and painting, de-rusting, painting, then greasing, whereby you have to grease many things. Moving parts have to be kept greased, painting. Then there is something called as cargo hold cleaning, where between one cargo to another cargo, where we store the cargo, that's a huge space. It could be on an average size ship. It could be 20 meters depth, 30
Wow.
meters wide, and 20 meters in length. And like this, you will have six or seven, five minimum. It can go up to 9, 10, 11 holds, depending on how big is your size of the vessel. Huge cargo holds. These cargo hold cleaning. You have to go inside physically, use seawater to clean and remove all the old cargo bucket by bucket, and take it out and prepare the cargo holds before. And this we have to do it at sea, from one port
Okay.
where we have emptied to the next port where we are going to pick up the next cargo. In the intermediate voyage, we have to clean the cargo holds. This is quite a bit of
Okay.
this thing. And
Work.
every time you come into a port, the ship does not stop just like that, because it's floating. You have to, there is something called as mooring stations. Mooring is nothing but you are using huge thick ropes which are sent from the ship to the shore. which will keep the ship tied up. So the mooring operations, the anchoring operations, all these operations are the physical deck work. Then comes the intellectual part whereby you are doing the navigation. You have to take the vessel from one port to another port. So as a cadet, you will be not given right away, you will not be given responsibility of navigation because the cost of the vessel is quite huge. So the officer will be in charge. You will be put along with the officer to learn how he is doing the navigation. We have to understand how he does the navigation. There are a lot of rules and regulations which we need to understand, and a lot of calculations which we need to understand because it's dynamic. The current is pushing you, the wind is opposing you, the swell, which people will not understand until unless you go out to sea. It can, the biggest of big ships can be toppled by the force of the sea.
Okay.
So we have to
So which has
ride with,
been
we have to
okay.
ride the waves, and we
Right.
have to understand how the ship moves, how much power is there with the engines, so many other things. So all this will be on the bridge whereby we are doing, the place is called as bridge, from where we do the navigation. The bridge is the
Okay.
highest part from where you can see the entire vessel
See
and you
as
can
much
see
of it.
the open
So
sea as well. And you take actions with respect to traffic, with respect to the other ships crossing you, the other ships passing you. Not only ships, you will have fishing boats, you will have smaller pleasure crafts, you will have yachts, you will have so many other things. So you have to be clear of all these things. So you have to do your navigation. You have to learn that as well as a cadet.
so it's quite a busy stretch.
Yes.
So tell me, what has been one of your scariest experiences at sea?
Scariest experience, not as a trainee, you don't have much responsibilities. You are doing what you're told. You will be given an order, and we very early in the career we understand, or it is drilled into you, or it is put into your mind that if an order is given, you follow it. Maybe the order is wrong, no problem, you just follow it, because the person who is giving the order will be responsible for whatever he is giving.
Okay.
So we cannot deny or we cannot say no until unless if it's going to put your life at risk. If there is something which a particular person, nobody is going to say something wantedly, that to do some to harm you or anything. But if by mistake, if somebody is given you an order which might put your life at risk, we have to think about it. Yes, sir, sorry sir, I think it's better to look into this in a very polite manner. If your attitude is right to learn, you will definitely be this thing. Scariest,
Okay.
I would say, like, whenever we have faced very rough weather. Sometimes the weather becomes very, very rough, whereby the ship is tossing and turning up to 30 degrees on either side. Whatever you keep on the table will fall down, the fridges fall down, the TVs fall down, the files are all over your cabin, but still you're sleeping, because if you put back the file into the cabinet, it is going to fall again. So until the weather abates, you have to uh, live with it. So
How do
those
you
days,
sleep through a storm?
sir, initial days is quite difficult. I have
Yeah,
seen people who get motion sickness in the initial days, and then slowly you get
you
used to
get
it.
used to it.
You get used to it, and the old seafarers, as we used to call the old sea dogs, they used to tell us something. You will start vomiting only if your stomach is half empty. You are allowing the food to move around.
Okay.
Okay, so either you keep it empty or keep it
Or
full.
you feel
Keep it full. So there is no space for the food to roam around, and you get a vomiting sensation. So, but it is very difficult for the cooks to cook during those
yeah, I was
weather
just
days.
wondering how do
We
they
have seen,
do it?
we have seen the cooks making khichdi and other type of stuff. The utensils are tied up to the stove using
Oh,
ropes. Yeah,
okay.
using rope. The utensils are tied up. Otherwise, it will be impossible for him to cook, because
Cook.
the utensils are moving left, right, and center, and that's how.
So you mean they have devised clamps and
Yes,
various
steel clamps
mechanical
is there.
things
We have
to.
steel bars which will be put on either side of the utensil so that the utensil does not move. This
Okay.
is normal on any vessel. Normal on any vessel. I during my course of the career, I have worked from a medium-sized vessel to world's second largest. All the ships roll. The
Okay.
people think that if you say, okay, if you're taking a A380 airplane, it might not feel air turbulence. No, it is not the case. Even if a A380, it can go through air turbulence. Even if it's a small aircraft, it can go through air turbulence. Same thing applies at sea as well. It could be a small vessel with only 8 or 10 people. It will it will be affected to rolling and pitching. Even if it's a world's largest vessel, also it will be affected by rolling and pitching. So it again, the scale could be different. For a big vessel to roll and pitch, you need very severe weather. Smaller vessels can roll even in moderate weather. So we have to see based on
So
that.
what are some of your most pleasant memories of a voyage? What were the parts you used to look forward to?
Yes, during the voyage, we generally used to have the vessels are pressurized to perform to the optimum during port stays when you're in port. Today, we are talking about SIMOPS. SIMOPS means simultaneous operations,
Okay.
because every operation requires a particular officer to be very attentive in carrying out the operation. I will tell you a typical day for a vessel which is coming to Singapore. Singapore is one
Okay.
of the ports which is quite busy, where a lot of services are done, where a lot of things are being arranged. So Singapore, when the vessel is coming to Singapore, your our company will be telling that there will be crew change, there will be provisions supplied, there will be a bunker, which is the fuel being supplied, fresh water being supplied, surveys being arranged, other equipment which needs to be given like stores, spares, paints, ropes will be given, and there will be audits which is happening. There will be a superintendent visiting and asking what is this, what is that, and all these things. All these things will be happening at the same time, and everybody has to be available at every place during that 18, 20, 30 hours of Singapore port stay will be so busy.
Okay.
So we have devised nowadays things which cannot happen concurrently. Like if a bunkering operation, refueling operation is happening, you can't have an underwater inspection or a diving inspection happening at the same time, because this is a very critical operation. That is another equally critical operation. We can't have two critical operations happening at the same time today in today's scenario. Those days
Okay.
it was not like that. We were doing it. We used to be awake for 24, 36 hours as well. In the early part of our career, we were doing that. Today the rules have changed. There is a minimum rest hours guaranteed by the international regulations. Maritime Labor Convention, or the latest MLC, is in force. uh, Rest, minimum 10 hours of rest in any 24-hour period is guaranteed by the law. So no
Okay.
master or no captain can ask. Of course, this is for normal operations. If the ship is sinking, if it's an
Yeah.
emergency, these rules are kept aside, because
Right.
life takes importance. So in after a busy port, the best part for us is to, when we are out at sea, when we are again in the open sea, we used to generally ask the captain, "Sir, we have done so much of good work. It's time we should have a barbecue or a party on board."
Okay.
And we used to have parties, and our parties used to be, of course, it used to be fun, a lot of music and dancing and
That's
good food, and free this thing. And there in the parties, it is never your officer or your crew, you're a sailor. The
okay.
one brand which will connect both the teams will be sailor. You will find the captain and the trainee seafarer dancing together and
Right.
having fun together. So it used to be, those parties used to be fun, and we used to be look we always used to look forward. And over a period of time, as I grew in my career, as I became captain, I also used to start looking forward, okay, when we can have a party on board, when we can arrange this thing. Of course, nowadays with a lot of owners and other things, there are a lot of restrictions with respect to use of alcohol and other things. Earlier days it was not there. Nowadays quite strict, and people have also changed quite a bit. It is more of having fun and spending time together. We used to have games and music and dance and other things to unwind and relax. So that will be the basic this thing. And if you happen to get a good port stay, like you go to a nice place, like if you go to Hamburg or New York or good cities, generally people used to take time off and go visit the cities around, do some shopping, land yourself, earth yourself, uh, you know
Right.
go and have a look around, and they used to come back and visit families, friends, in case if somebody is available in those parts of the country, world which you're visiting. Those things are also happening, and that's how. And typically,
So,
the contracts have become lesser.
right. So
That
you've been to multiple ports across several countries. So
yes,
is there something about these visits which make you feel that at some fundamental level it's the same kind of experience, or have you found some countries to be very different?
yes, always, always. Every part of the world, people are different. People are different. Of course, we are a universal member. We can go to, as a seafarer, we are not stopped at many places. We are always welcome to go into those countries. But yes, yeah, some bad situations that we have faced. I would say racial profiling has happened with us in some places. And on the contrary, we've had fantastic experiences. I would like to share one small experience of mine. I was a second officer those days, and my vessel went to a small port in Spain. It was between Barcelona and Cartagena. So it was a small, very small port, and we had taken coal or something to discharge. And always on board the ship, the respective ranks are always good friends. Like if I am a second officer, a third engineer will be my good friend, because most of our watches or the duties will be similar timing. So we are
Right.
always together. And so me and my third engineer, we had stepped out after taking the permissions from the captain. We had stepped out, and it was a very small town in Spain. And we were walking through the small market area and other things, and there was a shop which was selling some uh, bags and other things. So there was an old man and his wife. They were running the store, and they were owning the store as well. And they were so happy to see us. And they cannot speak any English. We cannot speak any Spanish. We were just conversing by signs and other things. And then over a period of conversation, broken English, they were able to convince. They were so happy to see us. They just asked which part of India we come from. Both of us, luckily, we were from Chennai. We said we are from Chennai. And this old couple, they were so happy to hear this, and they started talking about they have a foster son in India whom they are supporting, whom they have never met, only photographs and other things. But they are not so rich to bring him to Spain, but they are very kind-hearted people. So they are supporting a foster son in some home which was very close to Chennai, and only
Wow.
for that reason they were so happy to see us and other things. And they gifted us a huge travel bag. I said, we cannot take this. We will pay for it. They said, no, this is like as if we are sending it to. Then we asked for the details, whether we can go and meet their son and other things, which my colleague definitely did. And I think he sent back some photographs and other things. I couldn't do it. My colleague definitely did it. It was
Wonderful.
such a small thing, but we were not even this thing. Just because they had somebody there, the Chennai
Yeah.
Connect had brought us so close, and it was a fantastic this thing. So these
You're
are
right.
small,
It's
small
such
things I always
a
remember. My family has also sailed with me as I grew up in the ranks. You're allowed some ranks are allowed to sail with their wives. Nowadays, it is big with various other controls, visas, and other things. Officers are finding difficult to carry their families, even if they want to do it. But earlier in 2000, 2005, it was quite okay to carry the family. My daughter, now, of course, now she's in college. When she was a school-going child, she used to be very happy. You take a long break from school and you're with your father, do nothing, keep drawing and painting on ship, and food is on time, and it used to be fantastic for them. It was their holiday.
Yeah.
If we were working, it was their holiday. It was
Okay.
that's how it was.
So this, if I understand it right, there used to be this thing on the merchant navy where you're sailing for a certain number of months, and you get the same number of months off, or would
No,
it
sir.
be
We cannot say like that. It generally people used to take it that way. Nowadays, the companies are employing you on a contractual basis. So
okay?
basically, you work on a contract, you complete your contract, you come home, and it is up to you whether to go back early or go back late, depending on what kind of work you need to do at ashore. uh, Most of the companies, they do renew the contracts. That means a particular ship you joined from this date, you are given 5 months contract, 6 months contract, you complete the contract. Putting you on board, bringing you up to back to your hometown is company's responsibilities. Your insurance is covered, your flight tickets are covered, everything is covered, your uniforms, your food, stay, every medical, everything is covered during the part of the contract by the company. And once you come back, basically the contract is completed. There is no contractual obligation between the officer and the company when they are on leave.
Okay. Okay. Fair
But
enough.
most of the companies, they do call back, they do keep the officers. They don't want to lose good people. The pool is maintained, so it is back to back. On average, if you take any sailing officer today, if he is doing a 5 to 6 months tenure on board, he just definitely takes 3 to 4 months break. Uh, or on is it in the industry? It is funnily said. It is not true though. It is funnily said. Okay, you bring money till you stay on ashore till the money finishes. Then you pack your bags and go back again.
Yeah, okay. Okay.
You know,
But what is it like to come back home after a long stay
right.
and then want to go
It is
back or go back again?
always home is home. It's always bliss to come back and enjoy your hometown, your food, your people, your friends, your family. This is one thing, is the difficult part of being in merchant navy. You have to sacrifice a lot. You have to put away things which are very dear to you. It's very difficult to pack your bags and leave, and especially when your children are young, or you're newly married, or you're having a ailing parents which you need to take care. Every seafarer has to go through this, and we have seen many situations at sea where seafarers could not attend important marriages, could not attend important funerals, be it their own parents. I've seen seafarers who have missed their parents' funeral. So that is the sad part. Even if the company wants to send you home, nowadays the rules are there that when important family member or untimely passes away when you're at sea, the company is supposed to send you back home. But you can't expect the company to send you from middle of Pacific Ocean. It is not possible. You have to wait for the ship to reach the suitable port. You have to get a suitable reliever. Then you have to pack your bags and come home. By the time things are already over at home. Yes, I have seen people missing their marriages, missing funerals, but that comes
Part
with
and
part of
parcel
the
of this.
job. And if you take a army officer or an Indian Navy officer, they also go through the same difficulties. So it
Right.
comes as a part of the job. So you take it with a pinch of salt and say, yes, I am at merchant navy. I cannot be having all the privileges which a land person can have. But that does not mean that I'm not attached to the family. Or yes, it,
Right.
it comes with the job, and we take it. People
Uh,
learn. People learn.
right. So, in terms of what you started out by saying in 3 years you learn more than your father, salaries are good and they compensate to a certain extent, or would you say
Quite a
that
bit,
that is
quite a bit. I would say today, in let us talk in today's this thing. A brand new cadet who starts out at sea in rupee terms. He in rupee terms he starts around 40 to 50,000 rupees a month as a. It is only a training allowance. It is not even called as salary, because during a training time it is called stipend. You getting only 30 to 40,000 rupees is definitely guaranteed. And as you but going from a cadet to a captain, it's not a cakewalk. At every stage you have exams, every stage you have to complete lot of courses, every stage you have to upgrade your license. Based on your license, what you obtain, that is how is the rank which you will be employed on board. So the first license is your second mate license, whereby you can become a third officer, then you become a second officer, then between second officer to chief officer, which is the next promotion which the company has to give you, but you have to have the suitable license. You have to again go to the government of India or any other government across the world to obtain this license. And then for the becoming a master, again you have to sit through a various set of exams and courses, and then you obtain this license, whereby you will be eligible to become a captain. So as a third officer in today's industry standards, he gets anywhere between 2000 to $3,000 per month uh, for starters, and masters can go up to 8 to 9,000 dollars per month of their this thing, depending on which company, which type of vessels. I'm saying this is only the range. It
okay.
can go even
Yeah, it would
higher.
depend on
It will
several
go
other factors as
if there is an Indian. I know friends of mine who are working on LNG or LPG type of vessels. They are quite difficult vessels to work, so they're compensated more. So they can go up to $10,000 to $12,000 per month as well. But the job is also equally strenuous, equally hazardous, equally demanding. It is not that just because he is a captain, he's going to get that much money. No, it
well. Okay.
comes with a lot of responsibilities. It comes with a lot of sternness, hard work to earn that kind of money. Yes, if
Okay.
somebody is interested, they should first think, not only think about the money. It should also understand that lot of hard work and a lot of physical and mental stress you have to go through to reach that level. It is not
Which is
likewise.
where I'd like to spend a little more time. Mentally, what do you think are the requirements? You've spoken of the arduous physical work which you're trained for early on, because even if the officer has to demand that of his crew, like you said, your captain told you you need to know what they're going through.
Yes.
Mentally, what is it that you have to be strong about and where
the,
you have to build resilience?
yes, the resilience is definitely required. Why? Because first thing is, you have to be away from home. You have to be away from your near and dear and friends and loved ones. And the food is available. Food is there, but it is not what you can get on demand. You have
Okay.
to eat what is available.
Right.
So if you don't have the mental conditioning that I am at sea, I am here to achieve a certain goal financially or position wise or rank wise, or I would like to wear the uniform, or I would like to roam the world. All these things set aside, you still need to have a very strong attitude of accepting things and being humble. Very important quality for to be at sea.
Right.
It is not easy for everybody to be at sea. We have seen people who come who cannot take this type of sternness, mental stress, who leave the career midway and go. As long as you are mentally fit, you need to be. You cannot be homesick. Basically, you cannot be homesick. You cannot be very attached to your pet or your loved ones or anything. It will be very difficult for that kind of people to survive being at sea. Yes, after you have reached a certain level or a certain rank, you will be able to do some or ask for some favors, whereby you can say, sir, I can sail only for 4 months. So to ask that level, you need to have reached a certain level
You
in your
need
career.
to. Okay.
You
Okay.
have to become a captain or a chief officer. You say, sir, I will work, but I will work 4 months, and I will take a
Okay.
break, and then I'll come back. So that is how this thing. The initial stages, you have to put in your time. You have to serve your time to reach that level. Nowadays, government is helping. The laws are helping. You're getting enough rest. You're getting enough support from the industry heads and the companies as well. They also understand the physical and mental stress which the seafarers go through. We, as a part of the companies where I am working, we are running campaigns whereby we are uh, giving importance to well-being of the mind. We are running psychological programs to assess the condition of the mental state of seafarers. And it is, I will give you a typical example. When I started out at sea, my mother used to write letters which used to come once in 3 months. The
Okay.
only way she can reach me is she can write a letter, send it to my company's address, and what the company will do is all the letters which have come to that particular ship's name, they will collect it, they will put it into a bigger envelope, and they will send it to the next port, because the company will only know where we are going and who is the agent and all those things. So they used to courier it or post it to that particular port. And once we reach the port, the agent used to bring, it used to be called as the mail packet. We used to be waiting at the gangway when the agent is coming with a big mail packet. Oh yeah, we're going to get some mail today. So that's how we started. And today, all our ships are connected with internet. The WhatsApps are working. It might not be working at the same speed as how it works at ashore. There are restrictions. It is there, but it is there. Most of our ships are fitted with internet, with a free email facility to the crew, so they are able to do like as a master in my last vessel. I was able to do video calling with my family on a daily basis.
Oh wow.
Yeah, on a
That's
daily
a
basis.
major benefit.
It was
Yes.
a blessing in disguise. It was like literally you're not away, and it comes with a downside as well. It comes with a downside as well. Now, those days, if your pet had died, you will come to know after 3 months.
Okay.
So you sulk for some time, and then you say, okay, it's okay, carry on. Today it is the next minute. So you're sulking on
Okay.
board, which is affecting your job.
Okay.
So it comes with the downside. Too much of
Yes.
communication also
All
comes with the downside, but it
right.
is available today. It is available. People are getting good facilities, and the contracts have become shorter. The money is improved. The living conditions have improved. The food and other things have improved, but yeah, but still you are away from family. You don't have the physical connect. You don't have the okay, communication connect is there, but the emotional and physical connect which a family can give you of you being around or they being around you will definitely not be there for a merchant navy
When
seafarer.
you're in a
Be
mission.
it a
Yeah.
sailor or be it an officer, it will be the same. Everybody has to go through that.
What were the things you were talking about before we started, where you said there are two distinct streams? One is tech, and the other is you've
Yeah.
specialized in tech.
Yes, every ship we will have a set of officers and we will have a set of engineers. Engineers are running your engines, your generators, your reefer plants, your all the machinery is controlled and run and maintained by our engineers. Without the engineers, the ship cannot go to any other place. So engineers and the deck officers have to work as a team to take the ship from point A to point B. So to become an engineer, engineers also have to have the same mental resilience, same physical work, everything is same, but they join the career after completing their mechanical engineering. So age wise, when they come as a junior engineer, they will be a little bit older than a deck cadet. A deck cadet can join around 18, 19 years old, but a junior engineer will be 23 years because he would have completed 4 years of engineering ashore before he can opt out and come out to sea as an engineer. So the benefits are also slightly better than the deck cadet. You join as a junior engineer, then he also has to go through the same examination pattern to go from one rank to another, and finally he will reach the rank of the chief engineer. Chief
Okay.
engineer and master are equal rank wise, but the hierarchy is set in such a way that the master has the overall command, overall authority. He can override the chief engineer when it is coming to aspects of safety and security, but the chief engineer will be equally responsible for providing the support to the master with respect to engines and generators and other things. So an engineering stream is also equally good, equally payable, equally uh, attractive, but you come after completing your mechanical engineering
Okay.
from only mechanical engineers are opting for this particular career. Other stream engineers, IT engineers and all are they cannot join this thing. Like how we have Indian Maritime University, which is running the courses for the deck officers. Equally, it is also under the same umbrella, but we have the DMET in Kolkata, which is having they are doing the directly. They become the mechanical engineers, marine engineers. They become marine engineers, and then they join. They're also called the chief engineers are also called as marine engineers, and this will be the equivalent stream. But it will be better if we talk to one of the chief engineers, whom, as I told you, we can definitely.
Yeah.
That will be the second part of uh,
Of
career.
how a career in the merchant navy actually
That's
is.
right.
Okay.
That's
So, in terms of people coming in, you have, I think, throughout the episode so far, you very clearly started out by where you started and then related to how, each stage. And I think you very clearly explained throughout this episode as to what are the pros and the cons.
yes.
Is there a large community of merchant navy people, or is it something that you build over time as part of your network?
No, sir. The community is still very small compared to
Okay.
the other communities. The community is very small, and as far as seafarers are concerned, they like a merchant navy officer when he is at sea, he is busy earning for his family. When he comes back, he wants to tend to his family, and they don't like to uh, it's not, I wouldn't say they don't like to socialize or anything. They do socialize and they do have their friends and other
Yeah,
things,
but
but the
you'd
community
like
is
to make
quite
the
small.
maximum use. Yeah,
Yeah, the
that's true.
maximum use and spend time with their own families, so that family gets priority rather than socializing with the community and other things. But we do have our own forums. We have merchant navy officers association, which is there in all parts of India, whereby it's a local, like in Chennai chapter we have a merchant navy officers association. Then we have other associations where we meet. We do a lot of networking with respect to carriers beyond the sea. Like nowadays, I'm not sailing. I'm working ashore in in a shipping company, whereby my role currently is to guide the officers who are sailing on board and using my experience, and basically looking after the good being of the vessel wherever she's trading and all these things. So I am currently a marine superintendent with one of the leading shipping companies based out of Chennai. So
So, in terms of,
after sailing
sorry,
also, yes sir.
no, in terms of certifications, I just wanted to understand what kind of time frames. Is it you do a certification to move to the next level? Is it once every 2 or 3 years, or
No,
is
no.
the gap wider?
It is based on the number of months you're putting at sea. As I
Okay.
initially told, 36 months is 27 plus 1 year. Initial training is the first step to your first certificate. Then after that, every 18 months of sea time, again sea time, not calendar time. Every 18 months, you will be eligible to sit for the next level of certification. So second mate is the first level, then chief mate is the second level, and master is the final level. So you can take a calendar time of or a career progression of anywhere between 12 to 10 to 12 years, from the time you join as a brand new trainee till you earn your four stripes, you become the captain. It take about 12 years. 12-13 years is a good enough time. People have done it a little bit earlier, 11 and a half years, 12 years also. People have done it in 14 years also. It depends on how much leave you take, how much time you spend ashore between the ranks and between the vessels, all these things will matter as you this thing. After you have sailed as a master for a few years, if you don't want to continue sailing anymore, like how I have taken a call now, there are many things which you can do ashore. You can become a surveyor, you can become an auditor, you can become an insurance marine insurance specialist, you can become a marine superintendent, you can become an academician by teaching, joining companies which are encouraging this thing. You can become a academician, you can do many things. The industry is quite open for all these things. You can be a ship operator, you can become a commercial operator whereby you're fixing the ships for cargo and other things. So the industry is quite wide open after you don't want to sail anymore. Likewise for the engineers as well, you can become a technical superintendent, you can become you can even work in a completely different field. Like I know chief engineers who are working in five-star hotels, because five-star hotels are also having the same setup. They have generators, they have reefer rooms, they have sewage plants, they have freshwater plants. All these things require a trained engineer to maintain them. So there are many people who are quit sailing and they're doing. And of course the business, there are people who can do, who are good in business, they do business. There are many things which people can do after hanging their boats or sailing boats. They can do many things.
Wonderful, Captain Gopalakrishnan. Thank you for spending an hour with us and detailing this whole thing
It's
out.
my pleasure.
It was
It's been my pleasure to do this thing. And
in closing, what would you like to say to students who are planning to come in? If you
I
can put
would
it brief.
say keep your mind open. Keep your
Yeah.
mind open. Be ready to work. Put in the hard work. And as always, people say hard work never fails. So you will definitely reap the benefits of hard work. You have to have the right attitude, and learning never stops. Even today, every field. It is not only to this field. I think that is acceptable to any walk of life you do. Learning never stops. Every day is a new experience. Being at sea is bliss. You have to be there, standing on the deck, seeing the nice, beautiful sunrise and sunsets, which people pay thousands of dollars or even millions of dollars to go and watch. This comes to you for free, but you can do it for free. You can go to all around the world, interact with a lot of people around the world, have fun, do your job, earn money. But you should have the resilience, you should have the mindset that I am at sea. Please be proud to say that I'm a merchant navy officer. And that that's a different feeling. That's a different feeling.
Wonderful. Thank you, Captain Gopalakrishnan, and
Thank you,
for
sir.
a
Thank you. It's been
wonderful
a pleasure.
summation of the career
Yeah.
and for coming on the show.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. It was nice talking to you. Thank you for having me, and we look forward to interacting more in the future.
Sure. Thank you. That was Captain Gopalakrishnan, who talked about a career in the Merchant Navy. So, watching this episode, you would have had a very clear idea of what is involved and what are the mental qualities, what are the physical aspects that you have to take care of. And next time, we'll be back with another career, another guest. And thank you, as always, for listening.